Life often feels empty. We scroll endlessly, chase goals, achieve milestones, yet deep down we wonder, does any of this truly matter? This question has haunted humanity for centuries, and two philosophies, nihilism and existentialism, confront it directly. Stoicism, another ancient school of thought, offers a bridge between despair and peace. Together they form a dialogue about meaning, freedom, and control in a world that often feels chaotic. Nihilism begins with a collapse. It is the belief that life has no inherent meaning, no ultimate purpose, no divine plan guiding our existence. Friedrich Nietzsche captured this shock with the words, "God is dead. We have killed him." He did not mean this literally, but symbolically. The old structures of religion, morality, and certainty were crumbling. Humanity was left staring into a void. Without belief in higher purpose, what remains? For many, only emptiness. Think about modern life. We have more wealth, more technology, more access to information than any generation before us. Yet depression, anxiety, and burnout are everywhere. We scroll through endless feeds, consume entertainment without pause, chase status symbols, and still feel hollow. This is the shadow of nihilism. It whispers that nothing matters, that all our striving is meaningless. It is a philosophy of collapse, but also a challenge. If life has no inherent meaning, what will you do with that knowledge? Existentialism answers differently. Jean-Paul Sartre declared, "Man is condemned to be free. If there is no given meaning, then we must create it ourselves." Freedom is both a burden and a gift. Every choice defines us. Every action builds our identity. We cannot escape responsibility, because even refusing to choose is itself a choice. This freedom is heavy. It means there is no script, no destiny, no external authority to tell us who we are. But it is also empowering. In a world of conformity, choosing authenticity becomes an act of rebellion. Building relationships, creating art, serving others. These are ways we carve meaning from the void. Existentialism insists that meaning is not discovered, but made. Consider your own life. The job you pursue, the people you love, the projects you commit to. They are not dictated by fate. They are chosen. And in choosing, you define yourself. Existentialism challenges us to stop waiting for meaning to appear, and instead take responsibility for creating it. Now let's connect this to Stoicism. The Stoics taught that peace comes from focusing only on what you can control. You cannot control the economy, the weather, or other people's opinions, but you can control your thoughts, your actions, your character. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters."
It's a trip
Here
to
is where
learn the art of
Stoicism and
living a life full
existentialism
of
meet.
virtue, knowledge,
Existentialism
and
says,
unbreakable strength.
create meaning through
Now,
choice.
take a deep
Stoicism
breath.
says,
Prepare to
find
learn,
peace through
feel
control.
more confident,
Both
and gain
reject
freedom
illusions.
as we
Both
explore
demand
the
responsibility.
modern-day Stoics' knowledge.
Both remind us that even in
What if you
chaos,
woke up in
we
a
can live
peaceful
with
place
purpose.
where everything
When
you own
anxiety
has
about
a
the
place
future
and a
strikes,
purpose?
Stoicism
Your
whispers,
heart is happy,
control your mind.
and your mind hates.
Existentialism adds, create meaning in the moment. Together they offer a path forward. Think about work stress. You cannot control whether your company succeeds or fails, but you can control your effort, your integrity, your resilience. That is Stoicism. You can also choose to see your work as meaningful, perhaps as service, as creativity, as contribution. That is existentialism. Think about relationships. You cannot control how others behave, but you can control how you show up. That is Stoicism. You can also choose authenticity, choosing to love deeply, to commit, to create meaning through connection. That is existentialism. Think about social media. You cannot control the endless comparisons, the noise, the distractions, but you can control your response. That is Stoicism. You can also choose to step away, to create meaning offline, to live intentionally. That is existentialism. Together, These philosophies remind us that life is not about waiting for meaning to arrive. It is about choosing, acting, and controlling what is truly ours. So, is life meaningless? Nihilism says yes.
And
Existentialism says
Stoicism
maybe,
helps people
but you
figure
can choose
out
to
what
make
they
it
can
meaningful.
control
And
what they
Stoicism
can't.
reminds us
It encourages
peace comes
people
from
to
focusing
focus
on
what
what's
they
within
can
your control.
and let go
The question
of what
isn't
they
whether
can't.
life has meaning.
Seneca,
The question
Marcus
is,
Aurelius,
what
and
meaning will you create
Epictetus,
today?
3 Stoic
If you
philosophers,
enjoyed this deep
taught
dive,
us that what
explore
makes us
more
happy
Stoic wisdom,
is not what is
reflect
happening
on
around us,
existentialist
but
freedom,
rather our
and remember,
perceptions and
the
responses
void
to
is
it.
not the end.
Letting
It is
go
the beginning
what
of your
connects
responsibility to
minimalism
live
and
fully,
Stoicism.
authentically, and with
Minimalism
courage.
tells us to